Boss, did you ever consider that sometimes I just run out of clever ideas? Boss, we need to make a rocket ship.
No, Crispin, we don't.
But if we did, we could harness the power of a black hole. Boss, do you hear a clicking sound? Boss, sometimes a builder just has to let his creation figure things out for himself.
I'm your builder, Crispin.
I know. That's what makes this particularly sad. Sorry, boss, I've got sand in my audio receptors. I'll let you know when it's out. Could you please stop bothering me? I'm trying to finish this level of Zgred.
What?
You know, that puzzle game you installed on me when you built me.
But...
Look, you have your puzzles, I have mine. Okay, give me a second. Something's coming to me. Actually, I have no idea.
Train 173, red line to Métropole. All aboard.
See, boss, there is a train to Métropole.
So there is.
All aboard.
So, what's the plan, boss?
There is no plan, Crispin. No plan and no choices. We need power, and there's nowhere left to look out here. Energy for all it is.
Hooray!
A very large M.
You know, boss, you never used to ask me for advice this often back before you got thrown out of the unique. Do you think it's possible you damaged your processor in the fall? Boss, I think the gospel requires you to give me a minute's peace now and then. Well, someone clearly disapproved of something. You know, boss, sometimes it seems like the world is half full of junk.
Or half empty of junk.
Does that make you an optimist or a pessimist?
There it is. The train to Métropole.
And you said there wasn't one.
I stand corrected. The train to Métropole.
Look at all those lights. It's amazing, boss.
It's trouble. Trust me.
Sweet, sweet trouble. This is Métropole? Where's all the glass and light? Oh, here it is. Boss, shouldn't we look around or something?
It's a map of train lines and stations. Some kind of blast crater. Why would someone put a cannon inside a subway station?
Probably for training purposes. Training purposes, get it?
I got it. Some old chairs. It's a clock. I can't make out the time under all the dust and soot.
Boss, is that really Metropole out there?
It must be.
But it's so brown.
I'd say it's more red than brown.
Whatever it is, it brings new meaning to rust and ruin.
Metropole's bleak skyline.
Boss, the energy sensor is going crazy.
It's coming from the top of that tower.
Boss? Is it supposed to be doing that?
Facade.
Well, at least we know there's a lot of power in that tower, right?
Let's go find out.
Welcome to Metropole, the city of glass and light.
Can you tell me?
This one is not programmed to respond to queries. Welcome to Metropole, the city of glass and light. Metromind greets you with open arms and the promise of energy and shelter. You are safe. Records indicate an outstanding assessment of 5 megacycles. 1 megacycle will now be redeemed.
What did you just do to him?
This one is not programmed to respond to queries. Unauthorized literature detected.
Let go of him! Hey!
All contraband has been removed. You are safe.
Boss? Boss, this is getting to be a bad habit. Are you okay?
I'm fine. My optical sensors went haywire for a minute. What happened?
Well, that robot threw your gospel off the bridge. And then it said, "Welcome to Metropole." Again. And that Metromind wishes us a pleasant stay. Then he left.
Facade.
On the upside, he gave us back the power core.
He did?
No.
Crispin, the next thing that's getting thrown off this bridge is you.
Good thing I have a hover unit.
Let's go find a way into that tower. We'll deal with this Metromind later. City Center Station. Apparently, I'm not the only one who leaves lanterns in hard-to-reach places.
Shouldn't we go find that big tower, boss? Here's what we need to do. Find parts to build another robot, and then ask him what to do.
Hey, Tyra, over here.
You know, boss, maybe we should go talk to that annoying robot who keeps shouting at us.
Since robots away compared
Hey,
to
Tyra, over here.
All storage bladders empty.
I guess that's a good thing.
Hey, Tyra, over here.
Just another floating robot.
Hey! He's just shaking along without a care in the world. That's
Hey,
one
Tower,
shaky
over
robot,
here.
boss. If I had to guess, I'd say it was built by the same robot who built the Unique.
Very funny. You know, Crispin, that robot looks a lot like you.
Hey, Tower, over here.
Yeah, if you take away the charm and chiseled features.
I'll keep that in mind for when I upgrade you.
Boss, even if there's some code to crack here so that we can understand what it's saying,
Hey, Tower,
I
over here.
propose we just ignore it. Maybe, for once, the other robot can figure out how to communicate with us.
Agreed.
He's a robot dragging chalk
Hey,
along the ground,
Tower,
boss.
over here.
I wouldn't expect much conversation.
Sends robots away.
Aw, it's so cute.
I'm waiting for the punchline.
Hey, Tower, over
What,
here.
can I like a cute little robot once in a while?
I doubt it.
Not much of a conversationalist, huh, boss?
Hey,
A six-legged
Tower,
robot.
over here.
I'd keep my distance, boss. He could spray you at any moment. Now that's what I call a floating bomb, boss.
Hey, Tower, over here.
A big yellow robot.
Can't you see I'm trying to spin down?
It's a big blue cup. The mug belongs to the bar. It's a price list for the oils, solvents, and catalysts they offer here. At the bottom, it says that all payments must be made through an account with Metromind, which I don't plan on opening. It's a price list. High-end astringent and catalytic fluid. They're taps for dispensing oil.
Boss, I need that arm.
Crispin, it appears to be a self-aware robot.
Now I need it even more. Can you imagine? The adventures of Crispin and his arm. For once, I would have a sidekick. He would crack jokes, and I would say lame things like, "It appears to be a self-aware robot." Actually, on second thought, you can be the serious one, I'll be the sidekick.
Hey, Tower, over here.
Would it not have been better to have destroyed ourselves gloriously in battle, rather than perpetuate this false existence?
What do you...
Yes. The
Hey,
answer
Tower,
is
over here.
yes.
Boss, I think someone left the smart off that smart bomb. I wouldn't expect much conversation out of him.
Hey, Tower, over here.
It looks like this metal disc is covering something.
Right, Tyro. Down there's the ladder to the underworlds. Hey, Tyro, over here.
It's too heavy for me to lift.
I think it's ignoring you, boss. Boss, is that a floating
Hey,
robot
Tyro,
with
over
a
here.
claw and a plasma torch?
Technically, it's an arc welder.
Technically, that robot's builder is about 10 times cooler than you, boss.
Hey, Tyro, over here.
Maybe I'm just a sucker for flashing neon lights, boss, but I kind of want to check out that information kiosk. Well, boss, somewhere in there is our power core.
Some kind of track running up the side of the tower. It's far too high to try climbing. Looks like someone tried shooting the door, but the damage is entirely superficial.
Amateurs.
Anybody home?
You know, boss, I don't think that's ever going to work.
You never know.
Not gonna happen, Lampy. It looks like a lighthouse, only without the house. Or the cool stripes.
Hey,
Or the
Tyro,
coastline.
over here.
Or any boats. I guess it just looks like a light.
Are you finished?
Yes.
Hey,
Just
Tyro,
another
over
floating
here.
robot. Excuse me. Hello?
I think it's ignoring you, boss.
A basic beacon-type robot.
Hey, Tyro, over here.
Not exactly a robot I'd like to be stuck with in a submarine, boss.
A ramshackle robot. Looks like he's been rebuilt a dozen times.
Hey, Tyro, over here. Hiya, Tyro. You blow in off the dunes?
Tyro?
Prefer a newbie, huh? Look, let me tell you how it is here.
How about you don't? I've had enough of this city already. All I want is my property back and a ticket home.
Ticket home? Fat chance, Tyro. Anyway, listen up. You want to sell yourself to Metro Mine? Go ahead. You want to trade that junk you brought in from the dunes? Leopold's your man. That floater there, I'll give you something special for him.
How special?
He's not for sale. The only thing you might have that I want is information.
Well, you know what they say. Talk's cheap. Ask away.
Who are you?
Name's Leo. Leopold Steeplebuilt. Version 7. You?
Horatio Nullbuilt, version 5. And this is Crispin Horatio Built, version 1.
Leopold? Hey, you didn't build a lunatic named Ever Faithful, did you?
Do I look like I'd build someone named Ever Faithful Crispy?
Crispy?
What are you selling?
Bartering, not selling. Metro Mine don't tax bartering. Not yet, anyway. Come take a look. That's a water chip. Scavenger brought it in from the dudes. I traded for a keg.
A what?
Never mind. We don't need water, let alone a water chip.
Now that's a nice one. It's called a memory access device. Lets you pull memories out of just about anything.
What do you want for it?
Got a customer looking for something real antique and fancy. Find me that, you got yourself a deal. That old boy is a plug board or a breadboard.
I know what it is.
Well, okay then. Bring me something that'll cover a face and it's yours.
Good idea, Leopold. You'd look much better with a mask.
Watch yourself, Crispy.
Anyway, we don't have time to go around building circuit boards.
Famous last words, boss.
That servo unit is hopelessly broken.
It just needs a little fixing up, Tyro.
I don't think so.
That's a fine tool. Got a half-life of 1,000 years guaranteed.
I'm not sure you know what half-life means.
You want it or not, I'll trade it to you for something shiny. One fine motor you spotted there, Tyro. Foreign built, out of Savitas. Can't do better. But if you can find a bigger one, let's talk.
Boss, is that another battery?
Looks like it.
Finest AA battery you'll ever see. May as well call it AAA, it's so fine.
Wow, that would have been useful to have before I went rummaging around a pile of tires in the junk pile. Now, not so much.
That there's an old Nova Robotics subsystem coil.
Not interested.
This is a Stirling air motor.
Would it help me fly?
Nope.
Then we don't need it. Hey, look, boss, it's a glass finger. If we got 5 of them, I could have a hand.
What would you do with a glass hand?
What wouldn't I do?
You want it? You're gonna need to bring me a glass thumb.
Oh, go wipe yourself.
This here's a tape measure.
Ooh, get it, boss, get it.
Why do we need a tape measure?
So I can finally determine my circumference.
Tyro, I'm gonna do us all a favor and not trade you this one. Ah, good spot in there, Tyro. She's a fine micro-fuel cell.
What's the catch?
Well, she's drained.
I guess that makes it free of charge.
We'll pass.
A binary abacus, finest calculating instrument.
I'm fairly certain that my math coprocessor is superior. There are multiple recharge docks and cots in there. Must be some kind of dormitory.
Hey Armstrong, top me off, will ya?
A small robot drawing lines on the street.
Fine. Put me down for another megacycle.
It's locked up tight. Anyone home? It's locked up tight. Anyone home?
Hey, look, something came out of the machine.
Armstrong, top me off, will ya?
I've got a feeling I'm gonna regret this, boss, but do you think maybe we should try scrounging in the underworks?
The Law and You, a Metropolitan Guide.
Fine, fine. Put me
It's
down
written
for
by
another
Clarity
legacy.
Arbiter Built. The Law and You, a Metropolitan Guide. It's written by Clarity Arbiter Built. The Law...
Hey, boss, look! That repair bot has a floating helper, just like you do.
There's a red, burning, crashed hover bus and a writhing electrical cable. And that's the first thing you notice?
I can't help it. She's beautiful.
Well, you're not getting to her until we deal with this cable. The bus must have snapped the cable on the way down. Given the electricity it's spitting out, I can't get close to it.
Too bad we can't just plug it into the unique.
A floating light bot. It's holding a spool of copper wiring.
It? She? And what is she?
It looks like he's trying to fix that crashed hover bus. A crashed hover bus.
So we're gonna fix it up and do something amazing with it, right, boss?
No, it's not our property or our problem. Crispin, can you fly around the cable and push it off the street?
But didn't you just say it's too dangerous to get close to it?
I'm giving you a chance to impress her, Crispin. Just fly up high enough that you don't get close to the sparks.
Fine.
She's holding a spool of copper wiring. Hey, Crispin, why don't you go talk to her?
What? No way, boss. She's way out of my league.
She's a floating lamp, Crispin. You've never had any trouble with lamps before.
Well, I've never had to talk to one before, boss. Just knock them off ledges. I've got no practice.
Excuse me.
Can't you see I'm working?
I've said it before, but I'll say it again. You do know this ship is never gonna fly again, right?
You're right about that. This old airing bus can hardly fly to begin with. Still, there might be some parts here that Metromine can use to get another bus up and running. Anyway, what do you want?
Hey, boss, ask him about his helper.
What happened here?
What does it look like? The airing bus's motor gave out and it crashed. Into the only bridge leading from Main Street to the rest of the city center.
Was anyone on board?
Sure, but they've already been salvaged.
Salvaged, not repaired?
Can't repair without parts. You can't get parts without salvage.
What about building new parts?
Yeah, I mean with factory.
What about Factor? Isn't he a factory?
Sure, a decommissioned one. Look, everyone wants to spot bugs, but no one wants to write code. You got a better way to run a city? Go out and build one. Otherwise, get with the program.
You mentioned Metromind.
Yeah, sure. She's in charge of this big circuit board we call Metropole.
What can you tell me about her?
What do I look like? The information kiosk? I want to know what I think. Metromind is the best thing that ever happened in this place.
Really?
Really. You, me, all these other machines grinding about, we're just tools in the toolbox. But Metromind, she's got the master plan. Progress. Got a nice ring to it, too.
So as part of the master plan, crashing buses into roads?
Look, there's plenty of rust to go around, but Metromind's the only one scrubbing. Not her fault that some of the metal's too far gone.
It looks to me like you're the one scrubbing, not Metromind.
Like I said, I'm just a tool in the box. Now, I gotta get back to work. You again? What do you want?
Since you're so close to her, do you know how I can talk to Metromind?
Ha! Talk to Metromind. Look, Metromind has an entire city to run. But Horizon ears are everywhere. If she wants to talk to you, she will.
I'm looking for a big robot. It floats and has big claws and shoots lasers.
Scraper. After the last big cave-in, the two of us worked together on trying to fix the blue line. He's on the simple side, but a hard worker. What about him?
He took something of mine.
Yeah, salvaged it probably. That's what most of us do for Metromind these days.
Stole it.
Hey, you say router, I say router. Anyway, not my problem.
Where can I find Scraper?
Do I look like a tour guide? Piece of advice for you. Don't mess with the code if you can't handle the glitches.
Very profound. Do you know where I can find a power source?
If I did, I'd have salvaged it myself and brought it to the tower.
When will the bridge be passable? Soon?
So I'd say something on the order of a month, give or take.
A month?
Give or take.
And there's no other way off Main Street?
Not unless you got a jetpack hiding under that jacket.
Well, at least that narrows our options down, boss.
My friend is curious about your helper.
No, she's just a sidekick factor built. Thousands of them rolled off the assembly line back in the day, but she's probably the only one left. Really not much more than a floating lantern, and headlamps are a lot cheaper.
She says you're not much more than a floating plasma torch.
She's right.
Goodbye.
Uh-huh.
I've never had to talk to a lamp before, boss. I've got no practice.
She's holding a spool of copper wiring.
I've never had to talk to a lamp. I've got no practice. Maybe this is obvious to you, boss, but you might want to see if we can get that crowbar of Leopold's. I bet we could use it to pry up the manhole cover. And by we, I mean you. Seeing as how I have no arms. Or interest in visiting the underworks.
I guess the pilot didn't see the stoplight.
I'm pretty sure that wiring isn't up to code. Pretty cool how that little crystal is still shiny even after the whole energy sensor burned up, huh, boss? Hop on, boss. I'll fly us to the moon.
Very funny.
I've got a feeling I'm gonna regret this, boss, but do you think maybe we should try scrounging in the underworks? Here's what we need to do. Find parts to build another robot, and then ask him what to do.
A tall robot wearing a top hat. A small, simple robot. A rotund robot wearing a monocle. A complicated floating robot with a spinning antenna on its head. A tough-looking war machine.
We've got to find a way to clear the line to get into the courthouse. Because honestly, I refuse to wait in line. Not even for a power core. Not even for a gynoid. Well, maybe for a gynoid. We should talk to those two snappy robots outside the courthouse, boss.
Ahoy, my dear friend. Oswald Factorbuilt at your service.
He's no more your dear friend than Rex is your creation, you besotted gear oiler.
Oh, don't mind Cornelius. He's been bitter since the first great rolling brownout.
Bitter? Bitter? I'll show you bitter, you backbiting pot snatcher.
I think I like these guys, boss.
What's in that building?
Why, Arbiter's Court, of course. Why else would we be here?
I need to see Arbiter.
We all do, my dear friend. But the courthouse is locked, and first come, first served.
Why are you waiting in line?
Justice! I'm here for justice. To prove that I, Cornelius Factorbuilt, created this marvelous machine, Rex. Rex Cornelius built.
Ignore him, my dear friend. Candidly, he is 10-23 flops short of a kilo, if you catch my drift. The machine's name is Oswald Built. Rex Oswald Built.
This is over a name? Why not just let Rex decide?
Ridiculous! This is about principle.
This is about pride.
So, boss? Would you fight over me like this?
You could call yourself Crispin Crispian for all I care. As long as you still pull things off ledges for me, that is.
Glad to know I'm loved.
I'm looking for a big robot. It floats and has lots of claws and shoots lasers. It stole something of mine. Have you seen it?
Indeed. The robot you describe sounds like Scraper, Metromind's enforcer. Whatever he took is gone forever.
I refuse to accept that.
Oh, he refuses. How delightful.
Do you know where I can find a power source?
Alas, my friend, power is not so abundant in Metropole as it once was.
That Magank Metromind seized it all, seized it, and doles it out. And there's hardly enough to go around now.
Metromind keeps all power sources in the Great Tower where the Council used to meet. If you want to share it, you will need to pay her in megacycles.
Megacycles?
Yes, megacycles, you ninny. CPU cycles, brain power. Kind of power she really wants. Her low-rate processor was made for running trains, not a city.
How are you going to decide who gets Rex?
For the law, fool. The law.
Please excuse my brother. He can barely remember pi to the 23rd digit, let alone his manners.
4.
I rest my case. Suffice it to say, chap, we await the reopening of the courthouse. Or more precisely, we await a summons from Arbiter who will decide our case.
Who will say whose contribution was more important? Who will say, in fact, that my contribution was more important?
Could someone else judge your case?
Of whom were you thinking? Metromine, perhaps? Authoritative, to be sure, but I fear she would claim Rex for the good of all.
And since the subway schemer
He means Metromine.
shut down our builder Factor, he cannot help either.
What about Horatio?
Who?
Me.
And why should we listen to you?
I've built a robot before. And I have no stake in this.
Yes, well and good, but this is a matter of law and logic. A bit harder than banging together a tin can like your companion. How can we know your reasoning is sound?
Test me.
An interesting proposition. What do you say, Cornelius?
What did I say? I say that you are a liar and a thief, Oswald. But as to this Horatio, well, as to him, so be it.
Boss, if they make us find 7 lost crystals, I'm quitting.
Shh.
Roger. Consider this. At the binomial biennial, 7 robots in the probability circle are gathered for a party.
The what circle is gathered at the what? Is this some kind of vocab test?
I said quiet.
Each robot is either a Factor built or a Sternweiler built.
Blasted Sternweilers.
And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture.
This is ridiculous!
Pay attention. Factor or Sternweiler, quad-core, linear type, or multiplex.
Indeed. Now I will tell you 3 things about these probabilitists. First, there are more Factor-built robots than Sternweiler builds. Second, every linear-type robot was built by Factor. Finally, Sternweiler never built a robot with a quad-core.
Now listen. Which of the following statements about the probabilitist circle cannot possibly be true?
Four robots were built by Sternweiler.
Good show.
The preceding facts are unchanged. Now, answer this. If exactly 2 Factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
Three of the 7 robots were built by Sternweiler.
Correct. Here is the third question. The facts are still unchanged. Which of the following types of processor architecture might you find in a probabilitist built by Sternweiler?
Only multiplex.
Well, it seems we underestimated you, my friend. I'm uploading the facts of our dispute to your data pouch. Please, take some time to consider, and let us know when you are ready to hear our arguments.
I don't really want to try that.
I'm ready to hear your arguments.
Excellent, excellent. My dear friend, this is not a difficult case. In the Primordium, it was once said, 10 people have 10 ideas, and 20 idle hands. Wise Horatio, long years have passed, but the principle remains true. Did Cornelius have the idea for my beloved Rex? I concede he did. But who built him with his own claws and tools? Who hammered and soldered and wired Rex? That would be my humble self. Wise Horatio, a robot's fabronymic has the suffix built, not designed. And Rex is Oswald built, no matter who designed him.
Okay.
He makes a good case, boss.
What about you, Cornelius?
If you're so smart, you can figure this out for yourself. The question isn't what built Rex, but who built him. Your little friend there isn't named Hammer-built or Plasma Torch-built. You call him Horatio-built. Every robot uses tools to build. Oswald was merely a tool with tools. My vision was the creative force. And if you disagree, then you can go and rust in the rain.
What do you think, boss? Who gets to take credit?
Neither of you could have built Rex without the other. So neither of you can put your name on him. But you both share a common builder, Factor.
A common denominator, right, boss?
Both of you are Factor builts. Therefore, your robot's name is Rex Factor Built Built.
Factor built?
Ridiculous! And yet, the name is beyond dispute.
Indeed.
Take this, then, as a sign of our appreciation. I've been told the dates to the Primordium itself.
You know, my idea would have been to threaten to cut Rex in half.
You got upset when I cut that fuse box open.
Yeah, but that Rex just rubbed me the wrong way.